Welcome back to Classic Blues and R&B here on AM 1690 WVON. On our live line is none other than the great Ernie Isley of one of the Isley brothers here.
All right, what's up, Chicago?
He said he wanted to come to Chicago. Yeah, we're glad to
Yeah,
have you
yeah, we'll
too.
be there.
Yeah, and make sure you stop by. Give us a
Yeah,
shout. We're glad to have
yeah,
you here, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah. So Ernie, tell us a little bit more about the Isley brothers.
Ooh,
I know you guys got a great catalog. I don't know how many songs you got. Let me
well,
speaking of brothers, let me tell you something. The Jackson Fives were a
mhm,
good kid group. They grew up well. But I'm
mhm,
gonna tell you, when I listened to the Jacksons,
mhm.
that was a hell of a group.
Yes,
To see when Mike left, but the
yes.
Jacksons were, and you guys stayed consistently the same way. Had they done that, they could be helping to bring it on through.
Well, you know something. It turns out that the Jackson Five, all of them, um, they told us, and Marlon told me. He said, Ernie, because we were talking back and forth on the phone for maybe probably like 2 hours, 3 hours. We were talking one time in Los Angeles, and he said, Ernie, to tell you the truth, our parents, our father, told us to be like y'all. And I said, man, get out of here. Y'all been trying to be like us. We've been trying to be like y'all. And we both busted out laughing. And Michael, of course, was, there were two people I think he named as his favorite vocalists. And one of them was James Brown, and the other one was Ronald Isley.
Mm-hmm.
And, because of their brother thing, and they have brothers, and sisters for that matter, but they got brothers, and they got a family. It's like I could be talking to one of them, and it's like I'm talking to one of my brothers. It's that strong of a bond. And we don't necessarily talk a lot, or we don't necessarily talk often, but when we do, it's automatic connection there, a spiritual connection. And they have, all of them do, and Janet too, they have a very strong regard and respect for us as a family. And of course, it almost goes without saying that as far as the Jacksons are concerned, I had a chance to talk to Janet, when she was working on a record. We were working on Eternal at the time, and she was working on a record in Minnesota. And just tell her, man, like, yeah, you tell your mother and father. I said, Janet, you tell your mother and father the next time you see them that I said bravo. You tell your whole family. Tell all of them. I don't have a chance to maybe be in the same room with them like that, but you tell them how much I appreciate it. I tell you, there was a story. In 1978, we were at a CBS record convention in Los Angeles, and Ronald and I came in at different times. And I came in maybe 10 minutes or so before Ronald, and the place was packed, and I sat down at a table, and Ronald, later on, he came in shortly behind me. But as I came in, I noticed to my right a family. Everybody was dressed very well, both male and female. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, that's the Jacksons. And I waved, and I sat down at the table. And I wasn't sitting there too long, and somebody tugged at my sleeve, and it was Michael. And he said, hi, Ernie. Hey, man, what's up? He said, look, can you introduce me to your brother Ronald? I was like, man, Michael, he knows who you are, man. He don't bite. You can go over there and say hello. Well, he might be busy or whatever. I don't know about. I said, okay, I'll go over and ask him. So I go over to Ronald, and Ronald's sitting down. And Ronald and I are brothers. And I lean over to Ronald's ear and I said, it's like something out The Godfather. Michael Jackson wants to come over to see you. Is it all right? he said, yeah. Just like The Godfather. He said, yeah, it's all right. So I go back to my table, and Michael Jackson's sitting there at my table, literally sitting at my table. And I take him by the hand like he's a 7-year-old boy. 5 years old, 7 years old, and I walk him to Ronald's table at the break, in the program, and I said, Ronald Isley, Michael Jackson, Ronald Isley, and the three of us busted out laughing, just like, God, this is the stupidest, and I walked away, and Ronald and Michael sat together the rest of that evening. And when the evening was over, I said, what y'all talk about? And Ronald said, he wanted to know, man, what they should do next and all that. This was before they did Don't Blame It on the Sunshine.
Okay.
Don't Blame It on the Moonlight. And the next record that they had off of that album was Let's Dance, Let's Shout, Shake Your Body Out to the Ground. Okay. And that was later in December. This was August of that year. And Ronald said, I told him, man, whatever y'all going to do, that's you all's, destiny to find, to discover. I can't, I don't have that compass. You have it. And I said, well, man, Ernie, he wanted us to come over to the house and wanted to know if we could be their manager and, all of this stuff, at the like for that evening. And, it was remarkable to see what transpired not too long after that. And, not just for the Jacksons, but for Michael and for Janet. And certainly, just kudos, man. Bravo. Yeah. They've been wonderful. But they have a very high regard and respect for the Isley brothers, and naturally we do for them too.
Yes. You mentioned somebody there, James Brown. You were out of Cincinnati, yes. Now, were you a young kid when you left and went to New Jersey, or were you old enough?
I was 8 years old.
Okay, because when you speak of James Brown, I know he recorded down in Cincinnati there.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
And a bunch of talent came out of that Cincinnati
yes.
area.
Yeah. OJs.
Yeah.
Ohio players.
Right.
And then some, and on and on.
Right on, Rap. Tell you what, I want you to, we can wrap it up when if you want to throw it to a song. You want to wrap it up now? You want to wrap it up later? It's up to you.
I would say the song right now, you could end it with Fight the Power.
Fight the power that be.
Fight the powers that be. Everybody has to do that. They just finished that with the NBA, didn't they?
Yes. So. Yeah, they didn't fight the power. You tell you what, you'd be right back where you were.
Right. That's right. That's a requirement, man. Whether you hear that little voice in your head, so you can't do that, or that's not possible, or no, you have to push on through that, and to get what you desire and to fulfill your destiny. So, fight the powers that be.
That's a good one. Okay. We're listening to Classic Blues and R&B. I want you to wrap it up for us, and we really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, well, wrap it up. It's like I don't have a Valentine. There's not a Valentine big enough to give to the city of Chicago and the people of Chicago and the support and the love that they have shown to us through the years. We appreciate it beyond words. I guess if I was going to dedicate a love song to Chicago, I guess it would probably be For the Love of You.
Okay. That's a good one.
But Chicago has been a great source of I mean, sometimes we knew that we had a hit because of what was going on in Chicago, and that would be early on.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that ladies out? How's it doing in Chicago? Mm-hmm. Man, it's busting down all kind of doors. Between the sheets is out. How's it doing in Chicago? Whatever we were doing, eventually it's your thing. How's it doing in Chicago? Man, how's it doing in Chicago? It's a monster out there. And that would be one of the early indicators of what we were doing was Chicago, Illinois. And just thank you, everybody in Chicago, for that. And much love. And God bless each and